Hello, welcome back to another festival review video. We're going to go and pick apart Download 2024 and find out what went wrong with it. This is just some stories that I've read on the internet, and then the boys who did go, this is what they've kind of like reported back and tales from their experience kind of thing. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, I don't want to be too doom and gloom about it. So next weekend we're going to do a sequel video saying download what went right, and we're going to explore all the things that kind of went right at the festival. Yeah, because a lot of things actually did go right, but there's a lot of things that went wrong with it as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, the first and most obvious thing that went wrong with this year's Download Festival was the weather. You can't control the weather, but it absolutely pissed down. Yeah, I think the boys were telling me that Saturday was the worst. They were watching those damn crows, and apparently the heavens just opened. But it was cold, wet, and rainy all weekend. And when you get thousands of people walking on the Download campsites in the arena, in the village, actually the village is on hard standing this year, the whole site's just going to churn up into a massive just mud fest. That obviously makes accessibility really hard. I know quite a few people on the Download forum saying that they just went home just because their tents were flooded out and they were cold and wet, or their clothes got soaked through, etc. Which it isn't fun. We pay a lot of money to go to these festivals, and then for you to have a shit time and all your clothes get soaked, and you feel the need that you do need to go home, whether that's because you're cold, wet, muddy, and not having a great time, or the fact that you can't access the village or the arena just because you need a bit more accessibility. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, again, you can't control the weather, but yeah, I think that definitely put a downer on this year's festival, for what I've been told and what I've seen. So yeah, that's the first and obvious one. Now, a massive thing I've seen on download forums and kind of word going around the site was there was a massive food poisoning epidemic. Over 500 cases were reported to the welfare tent of food poisoning, and they were all linked to one vendor, the Yorkshire pudding stand, which we've ate from in the past, and it's always been great. But obviously, something went wrong this year, and they gave 500 people food poisoning. Yeah, luckily none of our boys were affected by it. But yeah, like you don't want to go to download, spend all the money, and then have a shit time because you're spearing your ring up because you've had shitty food. So yeah, that was pretty bad. And then also there was another one. The vendor Munchbox ended up serving some girl. I've seen this on a forum. And ended up serving some girl raw chicken, like completely raw, which obviously isn't great. But yeah, Munchbox have come out and said that actually wasn't them, and there was a different vendor which is posing as them using the exact same fonts, logos, completely impersonating Munchbox, and which is highly illegal because it's a copyrighted name, and essentially posing as Munchbox, being like, yeah, and not actually being related to that company or vendor at all. So read into that what you will. Yeah, that's not exactly a great thing to happen. But yeah. Now, another thing that didn't go completely to plan was apparently there was a massive wait time for day ticketers to get into the arena on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know exactly what happened there, but lots of people reporting having to wait in queues for no apparent reason and then missing bands. Don't know why that happened, don't know what the reason was, but obviously it's not ideal. You're spending a good bit of money to go for that specific day. There's bands on that you want to see, that's why you bought the day ticket. And you end up missing half of them. So yeah, that's not exactly ideal. Again, I can't find an answer online of why that was happening. But yeah, no, that's not particularly helpful for the day ticketers. So yeah, not good. No, this goes back to the first issue, which was the weather. But mini moshes and the quiet camping campsite, due to the site being chained up, water trucks couldn't get up to there. So essentially, those campsites run out of water, and I think they put them further away. So it's a bigger walk into the village to get your supplies, get all the shit you need, get access to water. I don't know what the toilet situation was like, so I don't know if like they get the toilet trucks up there to clean the toilets. But yeah, that's obviously not great, especially if you bring kids who've got the mini Marshals ticket. Yeah, it's not going to be the most particularly helpful thing in the world. Again, not a lot they could do about that. Apart from getting, I imagine you'd have to get a tractor up there to tow it, but again, wasn't on site, don't know what the story was with it, just hearing what people have been saying. Yeah, but not particularly great for mini moshes or quiet camping. Yeah. Oh, another thing that went wrong at this year's Download Festival are bands pulling out. Yeah, there was talk of Corey Taylor pulling out because he was sick. That didn't happen, thankfully. I think he did play. Electric Callboy pulled out because they were sick, and a lot of other bands pulled out in protest to, I think it was the sponsor Barclays and the whole Israel-Gaza thing. So they're just making a political statement. Obviously, like, people are free to do that. 100% do what you need to do. It's just a bit annoying for people who obviously paid money to go see those people. If it's your favourite band and they've pulled out, that's not exactly helpful. I know you can't help being ill. But I know there's a lot of excitement about Electric Callboy being there with Baby Metal and the new single Ratatata. Yeah, so that's not going to be a particularly nice thing to happen to you, especially if it's your favourite band pulling out. But yeah, people are entitled to make those political statements and yeah, do those kind of things. But just annoying for people who've paid money to see them, if you get me. But yeah. This one's a little bit different. It's controversial, is not the word I'm going to use. It's got a bit of a twist. It could be good and bad. It's the secret set on the Sunday. There was talk of the secret set, seeing it popping up on all the forums. Rumours it could have been Ghost, rumours it could be loads of different bands. It turned out to be Parkway Drive, which I love Parkway Drive. They're one of my favourite bands. They could headline Download Festival in my eyes. And then to have them in a tent and release it, an hour or two before. I don't know, if you're a Parkway fan, you're going to be kind of a bit miffed if you didn't get in the tent. Do you know what I mean? I know people can say, "Oh, get there earlier," but like, don't know. If you're a day ticketer and like you rock up on the Saturday instead of the Sunday, and you're a massive Parkway fan, you could be like, oh, "Shit, I bought the wrong day." Yeah. So could they have handled it a bit better? I don't know. But yeah, if you were in that tent watching Parkway, like, I imagine it was pretty fucking sick. I would have had a great time. Yeah, but no, a band that could 100% headline Download and to have them in a tent, and it was like spontaneous and kind of like, ooh, a bit kind of like, I don't know, it is a cool idea. So yeah, it could be good and bad. So I'm putting it in this list. Probably in the next list as well. But yeah, it's pretty much that one. Now the next one is quite a few bands experience a lot of different sound issues. Baby Metal being one of them. Their sound completely cut out. I think she said the lyric, "Can't stop the power," and then the power cut out, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, it just shows how windy and wet it was, and how much of a technical kind of like issue that the sound engineers had, and just battling the weather. Again, can't be helped probably. Across the board over all the stages, and it's just the kind of hand you dealt with when it absolutely pisses down. But yeah, again, I keep going to back to the kind of like fact that we've paid all this money to go. You're going to see your favourite bands, and then the sound isn't quite there, or it's keeps going in and out. But yeah, again, that can't really be helped. It's just something that went wrong. Yeah, so there's not much they can do about it. It's just a bit annoying, but yeah. Now again, I've said before, and I said it again, I wasn't at this year's festival. I'm still in Australia, having a great time. We had Dan, Jake, Tia and Sarah were there. So a way smaller group than we usually go with. And everything that I've discussed in this video is either what they've told me or what I've seen on social media. Now, to say those issues are Download's fault, I don't think they really are. There's obviously the wait times into the arena for the day ticketers. I don't know what happened there. Obviously, there's been an issue there where it's just confusion by security staff or whatever. I don't know. I can't find an answer online. So potentially that could be Download's fault. You've had the food poisoning thing, which again, I think it's an isolated incident. The Yorkshire Pudding stand is a well-known festival vendor. We've eaten it before for years and never had an issue, so obviously they didn't get the preparation right this year. I think that's on the vendor, not on download. Munchbox impersonating Munchbox, that's crazy. Sounds like it's going to be a big legal case. Again, I don't think that's on the festival. If you book something that's been there, he's a well-known festival vendor as well, I think that's the vendor's fault. Obviously, you had sound issues and accessibility issues to quiet and mini moshes. Again, you could argue that that could be more better paid for with the weather. I don't know, the weather caused a lot of issues. And then you've got stuff like bands pulling out. Obviously, sickness, you can't be helped. And political statements like pulling out last minute of a festival because of their sponsor, you're well within your right to do that. I mean, it's a political protest. So, again, I don't think many of it, or much of it, is Download's fault. But again, take it all with a pinch of salt. I wasn't there, so I don't really know. So yeah, it's just this video. I'm going out to try and piece together things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Give the channel a like and subscribe. There's another video coming next weekend of a similar thing, but what went right. So it's not all doom and gloom, and I am being fair. But yeah, cheers for watching. Hope this kind of like pieced together what went wrong with Downloads Festival this year. I think the main answer was the weather. So yeah, see you in the next one.